Okay guys, here we are. Finally had an update from my guildmates. They've said that passive masteries are up, so here they are. Path of Exile has released the JSON code for the tool makers, so you know, guys at PoEDB or PoEDB rather wouldn't have a problem so much, because what they need to do is just basically extract the new data and paste it on the database. So that's basically what they did, and now we have a list of all of the masteries. So it's gonna be a blind reaction, so let's get to it. Seems like it's gonna be pretty lengthy though, so a lot of them. Yeah. Make it quick. And what do we got? Elemental masteries. I'm guessing this may be like the raider area. It's maybe in the raider area. What we have? At least 18% with the affected resistance to exposure. Maybe good. Oh, the reduced reflected elemental damage is taken is there. 10% of physical damage is extra damage of a random element. Oh, Wild Strike looks nice. Increased effect of non-damage. Oh, 40%. That's pretty big for shock. And you know, like brittle and things like that is really nice. Elemental res, pretty good. Elemental damage leeches, energy shield, sword mastery, melee crit strike. Oh, melee crit strike. Melee strike range with swords. I apologize, by the way, if I'm speaking like this. Yeah, I caught a fever, so it's also made my throat a little more dry. So yeah. So for swords, we have +3 to strike range, impale with attacks. It's cool. Gain a frenzy charge when you hit a unique enemy. Ooh. Slayers seems to be having a pretty nice addition to their power. Because usually, I think you typically go with Slayers, right? If you want to gain like frenzy charge when you hit a unique enemy, with the Masterful Form. That looks nice. Flicker Strike may be coming back because of this. Offhand accuracy equal to main hand accuracy while wielding a sword. Maybe good for dual wields. A high amount of crit strike, but a little less crit multi. Mini Marilyn's Fallacy. Reduce enemy chance to block sword attacks. Ooh. Powerful. Enemies you hit are destroyed on kill. Pretty good. I guess that, you know, allows you to not be too afraid of any porcupines bleeding you, inflict deals damage to faster. That's from cleaving, onslaught effect, nice. Increased damage while in blood stance, increased AoE while in sand stance. Oh, that's from versatile stance, if I can remember correctly. Like that small passive notable in the duelist side. More damage with hits and ailments against enemies that are on low life. Slayer seems to be having pretty nice, like, you know, a pretty nice flexibility. Attacks with axes or swords gain grant 1 rage on hit, no more than once every second. Looking really nice. Staff mastery, what do we get? Recover energy shield when you block spell damage, recover life when you block attack damage. Pretty nice. And since it's within 1 mastery, you wouldn't have a problem. As long as you have armor in the, or as long as you have life in DS, you're good. Increase defenses while wielding a staff. Chance to block attack damage if he's stunned. Chance to double stun duration, nice. Gain unholy might on top. Basically what that means is that the unholy might is the gain, I think 30% of physical damage as extra chaos damage. That may be good for high fizz builds that do not have brutality. 60 to crit multi if you haven't dealt a crit strike. Mace masteries, all damage with maces and scepters inflict chill. Interesting Bone Rattler synergy, everyone. Increase AoE if you've dealt a crit strike. Crush enemies on hit with maces and scepters. 12% chance to deal double damage with attacks if attack time is longer than 1 second. I don't know why there's something like that. It feels weird. Hits that stun enemies have Culling Strike. Yep, that was from Skull Cracking. Minions attacks overwhelm phys damage. Minions penetrate 8% of first enemy's elemental res. Oh, a little bit of penetration. Minions have 25% chance to gain Unholy Might as well. Minions have high crit chance, good flat rating, or flat accuracy rating rather. Increased effective off. Very interesting. Oh. Shield Masteries. Counter attacks have 50% chance to debilitate. Oh, that's cool. That's basically like the debuff that you that is on the alternate quality of Reckoning. I think it reduces the attack damage, or like it reduces enemy damage and movement speed. That's pretty nice. Gives you a little bit more chance to block attack damage per 5% chance to block on equipped shield. Ah, okay. So I think it's the base chance to block the equipped shield. So if you can craft, or like if you can get high chance to block, you'll get maybe an additional 5% chance to block. It's pretty good though. That's pretty good. Intimidate enemies on block. Ooh, very nice. So basically the hunter's passive won't, or the hunter's modifier for gloves won't be as, I don't know, I guess as expensive now. So that looks good, right? Bleeding Mastery. Oh, wait a minute, I'm not done. Avoid elemental ailments while holding a shield. Attack damage per 75 armor or evasion. Oh, and crit multi per 10 maximum energy shield on shield. Okay. Right. So they've basically nerfed the shield passives, or shield skills, rather, and then just added them to shield masteries. It's pretty okay. I mean, I guess we'll still have to see ourselves, because you know we still don't have the new shield modifiers or the shield stats themselves. So we are gonna have to see on whether or not it really has affected shield builds like SST or Shield Crush. But from the looks of it, it doesn't seem to be that much of a nerf anymore. For Bleeding Masteries, moving while bleeding doesn't cause you to take extra damage. Nice. Bleeding duration, pretty big. Increased damage with bleeding inflicted on poisoned enemies. That's kind of confusing. Unless you can combine both, sure. DOT multiplier for bleeding per endurance charge. Wow, looks like Juggernauts may have a pretty nice quality of life for making other types of builds with this. Wow. Very interesting, actually. Impale Mastery. Dread Banner has a high amount of reservation efficiency. Impale damage. You overwhelm damage reduction. Call of Steel buffs. Seems like buffs. Yeah. These reflected damage with 40% AoE. Increase use speed so you can use Call of Steel more frequently. More steel shards. And increase reflected. Call of Steel seems to be pretty nice. 20% increased effective impales you inflict on non-impaled enemies. Possible buffs to the Impaler Keystone? Maybe. Nice to see. Totem's action speed cannot be modified to its value. I guess that's okay. Skills that will summon a totem have a 30% chance to summon 2 totems instead. Wow. You wouldn't need to rely... From my point of view, you would just need to rely on totem placement speed. At that point, if you get this type of totem mastery. Pretty nice. 5% of damage taken if hits is taken your nearest totem life before you. Ooh. More mitigation. Totems taunt nearby enemies. Increase global crit strike if you summon a totem. Increase totem placement range. Critical mastery. Increased effect of non-damaging elements you inflict with crits. Yeah. I think we may go a crit ball lightning or crackling landsman. Crit multi against unique enemies. Nice. Stuns from crits have increased duration +3 to all critical support gems. Wow. Wow. That's amazing. So you could basically get +4 by just, you know, corrupting and increased crit damage or crit strikes, then taking this. Oh. Oh. You take reduce extra damage from crits, 150% increased crit strike against enemies that are full life. So nice initial clear and a good first hit on bosses. Regenerate flat 5 mana per second while you have Arc Surge. Recover 10% of mana over 1 second when you use a guard skill. Oh, it's from Dynamo. It's pretty nice that they've, you know, like, changed that as a mastery, so basically anyone can easily. Damage taken recouped as mana. Oh, nice. Early sustain, reduced mana cost of skill. Has to recover mana when you use a skill. Clarity has reduced increased reservation. Nice. Ooh, life man. I'm interested in it. Increase maximum life, reduce life recovery rate. Well, if it's 10%, I guess it may be bad. I mean, if you have multiple sources of life recovery, that will help, like, you know, percent life regen, flat life regen, and of course if you have auras, that will help out with that, and you have leech. Maybe good. Maybe enough to offset. 2% of life per second while moving. Oh, great for Cyclone. And flat 50 to maximum life. Oh, that's awesome. Woo. Wow. Reduced life cost of skills. Oh, exsanguinate, reap, and corrupting fever. Maybe seeing something nice. Increased life recovery from flasks used when on low line. Oh, petrified blood builds are gonna have a little bit more quality. Vitality has reduced reservation. Wow. Nice reservation efficiency. Armor masteries. 600 armor when affected by a guard skill. Damn, that's extra durability. Reduce extra damage from strikes. Nice. 20% chance to defend with double armor. Good. Increased stun threshold. Termination, increased mana reservation. From what I'm seeing is like any auras that are, you know, like related to the themes, they're also getting their own mana reservation efficiency. But that's actually pretty nice to see. And then reflect physical damage equal to 500% of physical damage prevented when hit. Wow. Thorn builds, anyone? That seems nice. I'm sure there will be someone who will meme the hell out of this, you know, just make a huge armor stacking build, or a huge reflect stacking build. See that? Armor and energy shield mastery. +1 to armor per 1 maximum energy. It's amazing! +1 to armor per 1 maximum energy shield on helmet? Yo! So you can basically get yourself a hubris circlet, get it to 700 energy shield, and have the same amount of armor while being armor and energy shield. Oh, that's amazing. Wow. That's cool, that's cool. A friend will roll 120% of armor while not on low energy shield. Nice. So you get a little bit more physical damage reduction for your energy shield. Increases and reductions to armor also apply to energy shield recharge rate at 20%. Ew. Wow. These two look so amazing. Actually, these three seem pretty nice. Reduced effective curses. I mean, if you were gonna be Inquisitor, I guess to max it out, but you would go with some ailment mitigation anyway, right? And we have seen that it does also include that. This is so amazing. Damn. So excited to make ourselves a hybrid build. War Banner has preservation efficiency for the physical masteries. Chance to impale, reduce reflected physical damage taken. Oh, that's from risk awareness. Overwhelm physical damage reduction. Increase physical damage with skills that cost life. Oh. Wow. Exsanguinate, Reap, and Corrupting Fever. Pretty good looking right now. Skills that leave Lingering Blades have 20% chance to leave 2 Lingering Blades instead of 1. Skills that leave Lingering Blades have +10 to maximum Lingering Blade. That's gotta be a possible buff. Lingering Blades, I think, are the ones that use are the skills that have like Bladefall and Blade Blast, right? That seems really, really juicy. Because if you have plus 10 to maximum Lingering Blades, and the skills that will leave the Lingering Blades will have a 20% chance to leave 2 instead of 1, that basically means that those 10 Lingering Blades that are there already will have a 20% chance to leave 2. So, if just for a rough calculation, if you put that 10 times 20, so that's 200% overall. So that means you will be guaranteed at least 2 more Lingering Blades. Wow. So I know everything else from that will just be by chance, but that's pretty good on average, I'm pretty sure. Fire Masteries, we've seen this, although one thing to note is the increased fire damage for 20 strength. Yeah, strength stacking, fire, blade vortex, chieftain may have a comeback. Reservation Master. Oh, this is good. This is new. Increased damage for each of your aura or herald skills affecting you. Powerful. Like if you have precision, vitality, and hatred, that's already 8, 16, 24% increased damage. And then of course if you have petrified blood, that's gonna be another 8%. Pretty decent actually, pretty decent damage input. Mana reservation of efficiency, life reservation of efficiency, increased area of effect. No auras from your skills have 15% increased effect on you. Nice. Non-cursed aura skills have 50% increased duration. Interesting. Brand Masteries, yeah, we've seen Brand Masteries, we don't know them. Leech Masteries, increase maximum total life, total mana, total energy shield, increase damage while leeching. Sounds like that's from Hematography. 100% increased total recovery per second from life, mana, or shield leech. That's pretty good, so at least you are incentivized for any form of leech that you have. The War Cries, exerted attacks deal 25% increased damage, and War Cries cannot exert travel skills, so they have combined that. Pretty good. Remove an ailment when you War Cry. Recover 15% of life when you use a War Cry. Big. 20% increased damage for each time you War Cried. War Cries debilitate enemies for 1 second. Pretty good. And War Cries have a minimum of 10 power. Attributes, yeah, we've seen this recently. It's very, very interesting. Gain 5% increased attributes, which is pretty alright, but you get 1% increased damage per 5 of your lowest attribute. That may be good, like if, for example, you can gain, you know, at least 300 to 400 attributes overall. And then, of course, you know, if you're gonna have a strength stacker or an dex or stacker, it's gonna be in the thousands, but pretty sure that you will have at least several hundred of your lowest attribute. But that feels pretty okay. And you can also have the +5 to intelligence per allocated mastery passive skill. So you can basically stack a little bit more of those attributes. So if you have a lot of mastery passives with you, so you're gonna gain 5 of that, and then it'll help increase the damage if it is the lowest attribute, so pretty good. Block man though. +2 to maximum maximum. +2 to maximum chance to block attack and spell damage. Pretty nice. Flat life and mana when you block. Good sustain. 3% increased spell damage per 5% chance to block spell damage. Oh, what's good here is that it doesn't matter whether or not you're using a shield, dual wielding, or a staff. It just says as long as you block. Per chance to block, that's it. It's great. And 3% increased attack damage per chance to block attack damage. Attack Masteries, that's new. Melee strike range, more melee strike range. Strike skills which target additional enemies can do so from 30% further away. Ancestral Call. Increased mana reservation efficiency of stance skills. Oh. Increased melee damage with hits at close range. Oh. Cyclone seems to be pretty nice with that, right? Increased attack damage per 16 strength. Oh. Ruthless hits intimidate. Wow. Nice. So there are different forms of intimidate that you can get from. That's great. Wow. And for dual wielding masteries, you have a chance to block attack, or a chance to block spell damage while dual wielding, and dual wielding does not inherently grant a chance to block attack damage. So if you're more focused on blocking your spells, you can try and get this. Plus 1% of offhand critical strike chance. Nice, balancing out those stats. Increased damage while wielding 2 different weapon types. Ooh. Really interesting. Chance to gain elusive when you block while dual wielding. Ooh. Wow. 15% chance to block attack damage if you have not blocked recently, at least in guaranteed durability, and then a chance to maim and blind with main hand and offhand hits respectively. Next, 45 Mastery. Melee hits 45. Okay. And then you have a -3 to maximum fortification. I guess this means that you have a better chance to fortify overall, but you cannot cap it to a proper amount. And if you want to, you will have to get the extra maximum fortification again. And the next, fortification duration. Reduce damage over time taken while you have at least 20 fortification. Wow. Champions are going to be way durable this league. Enemies inflict elemental ailments on you instead of linked targets. Ah, that's for linked masters. 20% increased damage per linked target. Your linked target deals. Oh, your linked targets take 5% reduced damage. Enemies near your linked targets have fire, cold, and lightning exposure. Minion defense. Minion skills have 8% to all maximum elemental resistances. Linked skills can target minions. Wait a minute. I can immediately see something that can have some potential. Like, imagine a Summon Reaper build where, you know, you're just making yourself really, really durable, right? And then you can get your linked targets take 5% reduced damage, and for example, like, let's say you can make an Ignite, fire damage Reaper, or a Cold. You can also give them fire, cold, and lightning exposure as well. I'm not sure if that's even possible, but the enemies inflict elemental ailments on you, and the linked targets take 5% reduced damage. That actually sounds pretty interesting. Like for a Reaper build. Wow. Convocation has reduced recovery rate. Increased cooldown recovery rate. Minions have reduced life recovery rate but have 30% increased maximum life. Pretty big. Minions recover 5% of life on minion death. Phantasms and dominating blows seem pretty nice with that. 3% chance to deal triple damage for 2-hand masteries. 40% increased damage with hits against rare and unique enemies. Ooh. Yeah, I'm just thinking Slayer right now. Just Slayer, Slayer, Slayer. With what I've been seeing. 10% increased armor per red socket on main hand weapon. And 10% increased evasion rating per green socket on main hand weapon. That seems really nice. At least they're trying to incentivize you a little bit if you have a two-handed weapon. So that's cool, that's cool. I always wanted to see that. I've never seen any like pure durability form, or like pure form of durability increases while you have a two-handed weapon with you. That seems nice. Attacks with two-handed weapons deal 60% increased damage with hits and ailments and 10% reduced attack speed. Mini added melee fizz. Or mini melee fizz. Curse Master. You gain a 20% chance to ignite, freeze, shock, and poison cursed enemies. Nice additional ailments. 20% chance for hexes you cast which can gain doom to be applied with maximum doom. Seems alright. I mean, I usually self-cast anyway. That seems good. Non-cursed enemies you inflict on curses on are blinded for a second. Non-cursed enemies you inflict. Oh, so like if you initially apply vulnerability, for example, self-cast your vulnerability because it's going to be a non-aura curse because you've cast it yourself, and you will be hitting a non-cursed enemy. Nice. And your curses have 20% increased effect if 50% of curse duration is expired. Ooh, so halfway through the curse duration, it increases in power. Very interesting, actually. Enemies you curse are hindered with reduced movement speed, increased mana with reservation efficiency of curse or skills. Blasphemy seems to be pretty alright. Resistance and ailment protection mastery. Here we go. Look at that. Gain corrupted blood on the tree. Who would have thought, eh? So now those corrupted blood jewels won't be as expensive anymore. Because you can get it for free. You cannot be maimed and hindered. Very important because they're just in one mastery. Pretty nice. Cannot be impaled. I don't know. Never been afraid of impales anyway. Avoid being stunned, reduce effective curses, and increased elemental and chaos res. Very interesting. Energy shield mastery. Increase light radius based on energy shield instead of life. Arcane vision. That's basically what it is. Very nice. At least it incentivizes you. Or, you know, at least it's just there as a mastery. Cannot be frozen if energy shield recharge has started recently. Oh, almost like the occultist thing. Stun threshold is based on 50% of your energy shield instead of life. So at least that makes you a little bit more, I guess, confident to go for energy shield builds a little bit earlier. And of course you also gain 2% of energy shield per second, or regenerate 2% of energy shield per second, so that can help you out in the early game actually. Yeah, that seems nice. So you don't need to, like, you know, transition so late from like a life build to an energy shield build to chaos inoculation or low life. That's really good. Gain 3% of maximum mana as extra maximum shield. Nice Archmage build. Discipline has increased mana reservation. Nice. Cool. Accuracy, increased accuracy rating if that killed recently. Precision has increased mana reservation efficiency. Nice. Dexterity's accuracy bonus instead applies +3 to accuracy rating per dexterity. Accuracy stacking Juggernauts may see a comeback. 40% increased accuracy rating against you. Yeah. Juggernauts, or accuracy stacking Juggernauts rather, may see a comeback. Wand mastery, a 10% chance to gain a power charge on crit with wands. Unnerve enemies for 4 seconds on hit with. Interesting. Wand attacks fire an additional projectile. Increases and reductions to spell damage also apply to attacks while wielding a wand. What? That's strong. That's strong. Oh. Wow. 0.5% of attack damage is reached his life and mana. Wow, that's great sustain. Wow. Oh. I mean, I'm actually stunned by that. That's really nice. 30% increased effective cruelty. The damage over time as I haven't seen any powerful and effective cruelty build, but this may change our minds with that. 10% DOT multi if you've killed. Oh, very interesting for bleeding build. Increased duration of ailments on enemies. Increased skill effect duration. 10% less damage taken from DOT. Interesting. Chaos Masteries, yeah, we've seen this. Very interesting to see. Ah, but they've clarified now that you can get +1 to level of all chaos skill gems, but you lose 10% of life and energy shield when you use a chaos skill. Ugh. That seems like a very, very harsh detrimental effect. Wow. How do you get by that? I guess the less damage taken, you're gonna have to do something like that? And chaos damage leeches energy shield, that sounds nice. A little bit of chaos res and 40% of fizz converted to chaos. That seems really build enabling actually. A lot of the, if I can remember correctly, the Pathfinder builds have built-in physical damage converted to chaos damage already, like 60, if I'm not mistaken. Or some of the chaos builds like Toxic Rain, if I'm not mistaken. So this is actually really, really interesting to see. Flask Mastery. You recover 10% of life when you use a flask. While on low life, a life flask in particular. Utility flasks. Gain 1 charge every 3 seconds. Life flask, mana flask gain. I'm actually interested with the utility flasks. I may get that even if I'm not using a utility flask myself. Or even if I'm not using flasks myself. Like, gaining charges on a Cinder Swallow, Bottled Faith. That seems to be pretty effective. That seems to be pretty nice. Flasks applied to you have a 10% increase effect. Oh. Remove a random elemental ailment while you use a mana flask. Remove a random non-elemental when you use a life flask. What is that? Hindered, maim, bleed, corrupted blood. I guess that's what it is. Lightning Masteries. Here we go. I was so curious about it. 40% of Fizz converted to lightning. You can basically get an anomalous physical to lightning and then convert everything into lightning damage now. Wow. Finally. Finally. Cool. Lightning damage with non-crits is lucky. Wait a minute, Supercharged has been moved to the Lightning Masteries? Your shocks can increase damage taken by up to even overshock? What? Increased crit strike chance against shocked enemies. Ooh, pretty juicy. Non-projectile chaining lightning skills can change another time. Oh. Oh. You know, the arc can have additional arc. Increases and reduction to maximum mana also apply to shock effect. Arc Mage. Can you imagine the mana mastery with the mana mastery? What was that? I don't know what it is. I forgot. Damn, there's a lot of things that you can do with that. Woof! Very interesting. Caster Mastery. Oh, that's new. Final repeat of basically Spell Echoes. Spell Echoes will have 30% increased AoE on the final repeat. What? Spells cause you to gain mana equal to their cost every 5th time you cast them. Wow. So basically your 4th cast is free. Cannot be chilled or frozen while casting a spell. Oof. Channeling spells are gonna be really nice. Spells which can gain intensity and unleash have maximum. Ooh, so that's placed there. Juicy. % increased spell damage per 16 intelligence? Excuse me? What? Oof. Int stacking may have a pretty explosive comeback as well. Wow. Charge Mastery. Oh, I think it's for your endurance charge. Cannot be ignited while at maximum endurance charge. Cannot be chilled while at maximum frenzy. Cannot be shocked while at maximum power. Increased charge duration. Increased damage per endurance, frenzy, or endurance or power charge. Wow. Discharge seems to be pretty interesting. That. Duration Mastery. 10% more and less skill effect duration. Wow. It's basically almost like Swift Affliction. Wow. And debuffs on you expire 15% faster, reduce elemental ailment duration. I'm thinking you may usually get either 3 these, you know, just get these 3 and then leave the other one that you won't need. Pretty awesome. Gain 5% of evasion rating as extra armor. Ooh. Nice buffs for duelists that are gonna go hybrid. Increased evasion per frenzy charge, increased armor per endurance charge. Wow. Pretty nice for slayers. Defiance banner has 100% increased mana reservation. I guess we'll see. But you know, Defiance banner hasn't been too much of an effective defensive layer. I mean, we've tried it with our dominating blow build. It was just for +1 to evasion rating per 1 armor on gloves. Wow. So you can just basically get yourself a pair of Titan gauntlets, and it'll have the same amount of evasion per armor that it has. Wow. For me, that's the best way to go. Oh, Cold Masteries. Enemies become chilled as they unfreeze, causing 30% reduced action speed. Ooh. 40% of Fizz converted to cold. Ooh. Nice. Increased freeze duration. Ooh. Pretty strong. Chance to gain a frenzy charge when you shatter it. It's basically the cold snaps effect, right? Cold exposure, extra cold. Curses on enemies in your chilling areas have 50% Ooh. Maybe Cold Snap, Creeping Frost, Frost Bomb, Vortex. That's cool. Cannot. Oh, so for evasion rating, cannot be stunned if you haven't been hit. Oh, at least they're getting some nice buffs for evasion. Increased evasion rating if you haven't been hit. Mini like Wind Dancer almost. Increased movement speed if you haven't taken damage. Nice. 30% chance to avoid being poisoned, bleed, and impaled. Wow. In one mastery. Grace has 25% increased mana reservation efficiency. 100% increased evasion rating from your body armor. Nice. This is gonna be really powerful. This can help you cap out your evasion pretty easily. Mind Masteries. I'm not into mines, but we can go through them. Each mine applies increased damage taken to enemies near it up to 10%. Each mine applies reduced damage dealt to enemies near it up to 10%. Pretty good though. I don't know about the reduced damage dealt to enemies. Also, I think the mines cannot be damaged. Ah, but there's already a passive like that there. Alright, Mastery. Summons Kitterbots, what the hell? They have cooldown recovery there. Increase effect of auras from mines. Regenerate life if you've detonated a mine. Sustain. Bows. What do we have here? Blink arrow and per arrow have great movement speed. Or great movement skills. Increased AoE while you have a bow. Arrows gain crit strike as they travel further. Wow. Increased Mirage archer duration. Ooh. Pretty interesting. Movement speed while phasing and gain phasing for 4 seconds. Interesting. Increased damage while you are wielding a bow and have a totem. Focused ballista builds. Ballista builds in general seem to be pretty good. Blind Mastery. Increased blind effect. Increased blind duration. Increased critical strike chance against blinded enemies. Cannot be blinded. Pretty good. But that basically disables the second sight from one of those timeless jewels. I forgot what it was. But yeah, instead of being unaffected by blind, you just cannot be blinded, so that won't. For marked masteries, we have increased effective marks. Enemies near your marked enemy are blinded. Pretty good. Increased movement speed if you've cast a mark spell recently. Life flasks gain a charge when you hit your marked enemy no more than once every 1 second. Nice sustain. I actually like to use marks anyway as well, like Assassin's Mark. It's going to be great for critical builds. Now for Dagger Masteries, we have 100% crit multi against enemies that are on full life. Crits have Culling Strike. Wow. That's it. That's just... That's just it. That seems to be pretty good to go for daggers immediately. 8% chance to suppress spell damage for each dagger you're wielding. 8% more damage with hits and ailments against enemies affected by at least 5 poison. Interesting. Viper Strike may be pretty nice. 15% more maximum physical attack damage with daggers. Pretty good. Elusive also grants 40% to crit multi for skills supported by Nightblade. Oh. Basically incentivizing you to go for Nightblade now. I mean, Nightblade is actually gonna be pretty good with the elusive change anyway. 5% chance to throw up to 4 additional traps. Ooh. Big burst right there. Some mosquito bots have reservation efficiency, can have up to 5 additional traps placed at a time. 60% trap trigger AoE, recover 30 life when your trap is triggered by an enemy and traps cannot be damaged. Interesting. Spell suppression, right? There we go. Prevent another 2% of suppressed spell damage. Oh, so I think that stops the spell. I think that blocks any suppressed spell damage after that. Or like, it takes a percentage of the suppressed spell damage and then just chunks it off. Cool. Debilitate enemies for 1 second when you suppress their spell damage. Critical strike chances increased by chance to suppress spell damage. Oof. Easy crit capping for evasion characters. Interesting way for them to do that. Very interesting. You take 50% reduced extra damage from suppressed critical strike. Nice durability. 10% chance to suppress spell damage if your boots have an glass evasion. Poison Mastery, poisons you inflict on non-poison enemy deals 300% increased damage. Big, poisons you inflict deal damage 20% faster. 12% to DOT multi for poison you inflict on bleeding enemies up. So it's basically the inverse of the bleeding masters that we've seen earlier. Increased poison duration, recover 3% of life on killing a poisoned enemy. Poisonous Concoction seems to be having a nice sustain. Plague Bearer has increased maximum plague value. What? Seems to be pretty strong right there. Evasion and Energy Shield Mastery. You have something in particular for them. Increased evasion rating while you have Energy Shield. Increased Energy Shield recovery rate if you haven't been hit recently. Nice. 30% of damage. 30% of chaos damage does not bypass Energy Shield and +1 to Energy Shield per 8 evasion on boots. You know what? Even if you're a Templar, as long as you can get this, this feels pretty solid to have on yourself. Even if you're not having that much, or even if you don't have as much evasion as you have. That's very interesting. Now, for Claw Masteries, we have 1% of attack damage leached as life, attack damage leached as mana, nice sustain, and 20% chance to blind enemies on crit. Plus 10 life gain for each enemy hit by your attacks, and plus 5 mana gain for enemy hit by your attacks. Yes, it's in one mastery as well as this. 6% chance to gain a frenzy charge and a power charge on killer. What the? Double charge generation. Enemies poisoned by you not deal crits. Ooh, very interesting. Poison Cyclone. Skill supported by Nightblade have 40% effective inclusive. Oh. And lastly, for the Projectile Mastery. Projectiles will deal 20% increased damage for each enemy pierced, and there's the same modifier for each enemy or for each time the skill has chained. Increased projectile damage for 16 dexterity. Oh my god. Attribute stackers are gaining a lot of possibilities now. What the hell? Knock back enemies if you get a critical strike with projectile damage. Wow. And then you have either more or less projectile speed. Wow. That has been a lot. Sorry if it took so long, guys. How long have we been going? Oh, 42 minutes. I'm sorry about that. It has just been so amazing. Even with all of the masteries right now, I don't know what to do. I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see. I guess we'll just have to theory craft ourselves once we get the final version of PoE ready. And once that does happen, we will start streaming Path of Exile again for the PoE building, or for the PoB building. Wow. So much to unlearn, yet so much to learn again. It feels so amazing. I can't wait. I can't wait. So yeah, that has been it, guys. I'm sorry if it took so long. I'm not sure if I can even include chapters here because there may be chapters that are longer than others. But I guess I can try. I'll try and do that. So at least you guys can have a little bit easier navigation. Yeah, thank you everybody so much for watching. This has been an insane reveal. Woo. I mean, not even like an official reveal. I mean, PoEDB released this, but damn, it's amazing. The possibilities now. Alright, well, that has been it for me, guys. Thank you everybody. And I shall be seeing you all once we get more awesome and juicy content, eh? Hell yeah.